Gross here, the LA probate expert, with our weekly live stream on converting more buyers into contracts. If you're a real estate agent and you are trying to get something into escrow, inevitably, you got to close that gap, the last little bit between the buyer and the seller. That's what we want to talk about on a weekly basis. We put more emphasis on this call than most on buyer sides, but even as a listing agent, I work with buyers all the time. I recently got my most recent escrow last week, representing the buyer side as well as the seller. So these principles apply either way. If you want to, we do this every Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern, and we live stream it to YouTube and Facebook. Love to have you on board, either live if you register on the Eventbrite, or if you come on live streaming, you can put comments in and we will try to catch them during the stream, if possible, to respond to your comments live. So today I want to talk about really what's happening in the market. And I think the thing that I would say, if you want to get deals into escrow right now, make sure you're working with buyers who are current, not buyers from 6 weeks ago. Because we know two things are true. Number one, homes that were on the market 6 weeks ago are not available today, and their replacement prices are probably a little bit higher. We know that the average property in the last 6 weeks has gone over asking price by 1 to 2%. So it was on the market at $500,000. It probably sold or went into escrow at $505 to $510. It was $800,000. It probably went at $808 to $816. And that property is gone. We know it's in escrow, most likely, unless you see it fall out. So we know the prices from a few weeks ago are gone. And we know the prices have continued to stay the same or go up a little bit. The second thing we know is mortgage rates have jumped up in the last 6 weeks, about 1%. In fact, let me show you. Just today, we now close interest rates at 4.66%. So that means that your buyer who is pre-qualified perhaps 6 weeks ago or January 1st at 3.25 is now looking perhaps at 4.66 as an interest rate. That's going to dramatically change their payment. And you want to make sure that the buyer who is going to pay that payment when you went shopping, again, the house has not gone down in value, maybe up. The house that they didn't bid on, maybe they bid at 800, it went for 808 to 816, or $1 million went for $1,010,000 to $1,005,000 to $1,010,000, or I'm sorry, $1,010,000 to $1,020,000. So we know those houses are gone. We know they had been enough back then. Their expectations were too low, and we know there's no let up in sight. But now the monthly payment's gone up. So what all does that mean is, as a real estate agent, we have to constantly looking for new people to put into the system so that we can make sure that we're doing business. We're looking for people who have a problem, need some help. If you want to buy a house in today's market, you can only buy based on today's prices and today's interest rates. You can't buy what was available 6 weeks ago. You can't buy based on rates that were available 6 weeks ago. Now, is it possible rates go down again? Sure. Is it possible housing values go down again? Sure. Doesn't look like it. That's not the truth today. And what I caution real estate agents all the time is, a buyer is not a buyer who's looking to buy a $20 bill for $18. In today's market, a $20 bill sells for about $21 to $22, and you got to jump on it. Meaning you really need that $20 bill. You really need to buy a house. You want to live there. It's the right house for you for whatever reasons, whether you're moving, you have family concerns or investment. You have to be motivated to buy the property. Make sure, step one, your buyers are motivated. Second thing I want to talk about is there's no let up on the competition. In fact, I came across an amazing study from Redfin, and they analyzed their buyers, and they can tell you that in February, 68.6% of the offers had multiple offers on them. Competition. And that's even with the rates going up. So here rates went up dramatically, but the number of multiple offers did not slow down at all. In fact, it went up slightly, right? And they have this amazing study, and they actually rank it by cities. And so I looked here, I'm Los Angeles, and you can see, for example, in LA, 70% of all properties or of offer, properties with escrow had multiple offers. That's up from 68.7% last month. It's down slightly from a year ago, but in the same range amongst the highest in the country. There are cities that have much lower demand. Look at even Houston, which was a hot market, Orlando, at 59, 60%. Greensboro, North Carolina, 26%. Right? But there are other areas that are even hotter. El Paso, 88%. Denver, 83%. So depending on where you are, but you'll see consistently, even other than a few markets, over half have multiple offers. That's become the norm in the market that we're in right now. So how do you prepare a client for that? Well, they need to know these numbers. They need to know the competition. They need to know that prices have not gone down or slowed. They've slowed down their rise, but they're still higher than before. They need to know the average price. I gave the statistics this morning. The average offer is going over asking by 1% on average, and maybe 2% in hotter markets. They need to know that. And they need to know today's mortgage rates. Excuse me. Excuse me. They need to know today's mortgage rates so that if they make an offer gets accepted, they're ready to close escrow. That's our job as an agent. So how can I help you? Let's make sure that we are out looking for clients that we need to buy. So we're there to prepare with them and help them. Let's make sure that they understand the mortgage rates. Let's make sure they understand the market. On the listing side, know if you're not getting multiple offers, your property is overpriced. And we need to tell our sellers that and have the courage to tell them that. There are sellers that do want to overprice their house even today. And we have to be aware of the statistics and know that the most common houses will get multiple offers and to use that leverage to tie in a buyer. The other thing we need to know with the rates going up is buyers need to be locked in on a rate and we need to close on that lock-in or else we're going to have a hard time getting it closed. So if I can help at all, let me know. I'm Bill Gross. I am Bill Gross at EXP on social media, or you can call or text or email me.